This time is on the way as we join Johnny Nelson and first Adam Smith for commentary.
Sparkling entrance for the former world super flyweight champion Masamori Tokuyama, whose decent reign was dramatically curtailed by a one-round demolition at the hands of the fighter he must face again tonight in order to regain his title. Tokuyama outpointed Katsushige Kawashima 2 years ago, but was blown away last time. And Johnny, is it all about how he's been affected mentally?
Oh yeah, I wonder if he thought the fight was so easy the first time. That's the reason why he gave Kawashima a rematch. You know, the atmosphere is unbelievable. So he thinks, well, I can box well. He got lucky in the rematch, so it's time to put the record straight.
Here comes the short, fiery, aggressive and hard-hitting WBC 8-stone 3 holder Katsushige Kawashima. Pre-fight favourite here and aiming to rid Tokuyama from his record in their third clash. He's based over in Yokohama, so is very much the away fighter, but he's been defending his title, keeping busy, and must believe he can take out his rival in his home city.
And remember, Kawashima is more of a brawler than a boxer, so he wants to try and bring Tokuyama into that kind of fight. That suits him down to the ground, you know, and he'll do that all night long.
Disciplined, dedicated, hardened to the trade. Very, very confident, doesn't he look? As he comes into the arena and the ring here in Osaka. Crowd really getting behind Tokuyama. There's Kawashima. Big puncher. He's won 28. 58% of his fights ending inside the distance.
Kawashima stands tall, confident, as though he feels like a champion, as though he believes he's a champion now, and he's got a point to prove today.
3 losses apiece. Tokuyama, the smoother boxer. Couple of inches in height, 3 in reach. Not a big puncher though. Often has to go the long route, but he's got the fans with him here.
I would always be inclined to lean on the side of the boxer in Tokuyama because they use brain, speed and accuracy.
Our own Ian John Lewis, all the way from Gillingham in Kent to keep us company. Fascinating battle in the latest boxing trilogy. Masamori Tokuyama won their first meeting on points. Katsushige Kawashima the return by knockout in 1 minute and 47 seconds. So what happens now in a much awaited meeting here?
Because of how the second fight went, to me, I believe Tokuyama thinks it was luck more than anything else. It was that a fight in such a short space of time doesn't show skill. It shows luck more than anything else. So today, I feel Tokuyama's going to come out and box his life out.
Kawashima tries to get a thudding shot home to awaken any demons that may be in Tokuyama's mind. 13 months out he's had, the challenger, inactive, and he's regained his composure, his discipline, and has worked very, very hard ahead of this.
Look how Tokuyama's using his reach, keeping him on the end of the jab, and making him think all the time. Kawashima's just trying to slip the shots, ready to trap time counter with that right hand over his jab.
Lunging miss there from Kawashima. And you can already see the skillful operator behind the jab in Tokuyama.
Takayama's got to stand tall, use that jab fast, keep using the ring, and make Kawashima have something to think about all the way through 3 minutes of each round.
Again tries to get the right home, Kawashima. He must believe that he could do it again, but the speed of the slickster from Osaka is getting the better of things in this opener so far.
Kawashima's shots are probably off by about 4 inches, but as the fight goes on, I can see that 4 inches turn to 3 to 2 to 1, and eventually around the 5-round mark he'll start to get the target. Takayama's got to be clever enough to not get involved in a brawl and box him well.
Was their rematch last time a fluke result for Kawashima? Because Tokuyama has started, just has to be careful of the defense. But he gets his own right hand home, and he's the one already that's growing in confidence.
Tokuyama's got to remember, he's boxing a more confident individual. This guy believes he is the champion.
Kawashima trying to get hold of the center of the ring, trying to force Tokuyama back with his physical aggression, come forward style. But again, the slick speed of Tokuyama wins him the round. Crucial clash for the 8'3" belt, the WBC version, current property of the 30-year-old from Yokohama, Katsushige Kawashima, and Masamori Tokuyama, who is 3 weeks older, attempting to regain the belt he had for some years and was very successful in defending it. Said he fell out of love with the sport, and he's got that hunger back again.
That happens to most fighters. It's usually a loss that gives you that hunger back. You can see how Takayama's boxing here. He's leaning into this shot, and that will be very dangerous as the rounds go on, because of the way that Kawashima fights. Those big round hooks he throws will eventually catch him, so he needs to stand tall, stand up, pop the jab out, use the ring, and give Kawashima something to think about. Don't make the target so easy.
That reach of 69 inches being used to good effect. 66 for Kawashima. And he's really pushing back the champion. Technical skills apparent early.
Takayama's gone back to the drawing board, gone back to textbook, and remembered why he won the first fight. And he's, as long as he keeps his eye on the ball, stays focused, don't get slack, Kawashima shouldn't get lucky.
He's brought a physical fitness expert on board as well. Tokuyama knows this is a must-win affair. There's Kawashima just with a reminder. But look at the speed of Tokuyama.
But remember, we're only in the second round. The fighter doing the most amount of work is Tokuyama. So this is good for the first half of the fight. It's the second half of the fight what makes all the difference. If Kawashima's clever enough, he'll pace himself, do enough to make Tokuyama think about it, then step it up the second half of the fight.
He's kept more active, Kawashima, turning back Raul Juarez and Jose Navarro, albeit controversially, in January. Looks for the left to the body again, Tokuyama.
This jab can win Tokuyama the fight. He's bearing it up from head to body. When he throws it to the body, he throws it more of a hook than anything else, and that's when he gets in too close. And later on in the fight, that's where it could become a mistake. He wants to use all of that extra 2 inches in reach that he's got.
Classy couple of rounds from the former WBC champion, hoping to regain his title on home soil. The blonde hair of the colourful character resident here in Osaka, Masamori Tokuyama of North Korean heritage and a popular figure in the Far East. He's got off to a splendid start. Here's the third of their third meeting.
Each time Tokuyama's thrown that left-right, he throws that right with so much accuracy, and it's not very often he misses with that right hand as well. He pins it and gets him on the edge of the shot. It's nice to see how this would unfold. He's boxing him well. We're only in the third round here, and he's doing a lot of work, so you know the story is going to change at the middle section of the fight.
Using the ring, light on his feet, gliding around, and the accurate shots. Good defense as well from Tokuyama.
And Tokuyama's works that little bit harder. When you box on the back foot, you box totally, you jab the shot in and you're stepping back with it. But when Tokuyama throws his stops, he plants his feet and throws his punches with power and ferocity. And it takes a lot more out of you, especially at this stage.
Wild work from Kawashima and pinpoint precision from Tokuyama.
Tokuyama will have learned that Kawashima does not give up. He will hunt him down all night long and keep this sort of pressure on, so there's no room for error no matter what.
Getting through, Tokuyama, but a light puncher with only 8 stoppages in his 30 wins. So Kawashima will feel as long as he's in there, he just keeps coming forward, he may have a chance. Got to hit him cleanly. That's the key.
He's got to get him cleanly. And the style Kawashima fights, he's not a busy brawler. He gives his opponent too much space to think, too much space to move and work. So he needs to close that gap down, put the pressure on, smother his work, Tokuyama's work, so it makes it hard for him.
Left hook. Success for Kawashima finally. But the excellent skill, work rate, and slick moves from Tokuyama. Better jab, though, from the champion.
You see where Kawashima stands off from the shots. He's not closing it down at all. So he's letting Tokuyama just pick his shots and pick which shot he wants to throw. A body shot, a head shot, a big right hand. He needs to get closer, smother him.
Fast and fired up, Tokuyama. Well, it's been a very impressive beginning from Tokuyama.
Look how he throws our long shot combinations, you know, and he throws it very clever, very fast, yeah, with fluency, and it makes hard work for Kawashima. He doesn't know whether to dip to the left or the right or to step backward.
Very, very fit, the pair of them. Will this go into the trenches? Kawashima needs to get closer and start taking some of these rounds, because so far it's Masamori Tokuyama here who is intent on holding the WBC belt again in the turquoise and white colours. What's Kawashima got to do? Has he got to back him up, get him into the corners?
I think Kawashima only knows one way of fighting, and that's to pressure a fighter and try and get into a brawl. He finds it hard to box, but he's actually got a good jab. He doesn't throw it often enough. Whereas Tokuyama knows to keep him long, to box him. He knows what won him the first fight, so he knows what not to do in the third fight.
And it was a unanimous decision when they met in June 2003 for Tokuyama, although he did have a rough patch, difficulty late on in the fight. So Kawashima will be out to test the resilience all the way through, because he just keeps coming and coming.
And Kawashima feels more comfortable throwing a big left hook than he does with the jab. Look how fast that jab is when he throws it. He's telegraphing the big bombs, the big right hands over the top. Pop the jab out, get comfortable with it, and it will work for him. Don't just follow him around and try and square him off, you know, and put pressure on him that way.
It's the jabs though from Tokuyama.
Kawashima's style of fighting will work in the second half of the fight, but the first half of the fight he will get totally outboxed because his opponent is far too fresh, far too alert. There's no second wind setting in yet, there's no fatigue setting in yet. So the first half of the fight he will get picked off like we're seeing.
Crisp right hand to the head and one to the ribs from Tokuyama, who blocks the bull-like onslaught from Kawashima.
And Kawashima, when Tokuyama changes the jab to a hook to the body, he needs to get that right hand up, because a big left will take him out of there and he leaves himself so open.
It's quite a pace Tokuyama has set, and another combination rattling home. Will he be able to keep this up? Energy levels all the way through, because Kawashima throughout his career has just never said no, never given up.
Tokuyama is throwing this jab with ease. He's throwing the right hand with ease. This is something, it looks like he's not having to exert himself. He's just having to do what comes naturally. Whereas Kawashima is just trying to close him down. He's getting frustrated. He doesn't know what to do.
It's engaging and good to watch. Tokuyama in his 11th world title fight. You can see the experience and the talent that's got in there.
He's clever enough to vary up the shots, dummy a jab and throw a right hand over the top, or a straight right hand at that, so it confuses Kawashima, and that will work for him every time. It's confusing. Be unorthodox, don't be so predictable. What he's doing now.
He first became world champion in August 2000, beating Inju Cho, and defended it over a 4-year period until this man, Kawashima, stunned him in a round. But there was no early storm here tonight. Tokuyama has got into the groove.
Tokuyama made a big mistake in their second fight, and he let Kawashima get in close and catch him cold. It's a hard lesson to learn, especially at top level. It's so public. So now publicly he's got to redeem himself to show he is the better boxer. He is in reality the world champion. He just got unlucky.
There'll be huge anticipation here in Osaka to see who really is the better man. Winner takes all. Look at this, the pair of them starting to really warm in. Action in the centre of the ring now.
And you see how the fight has gotten close now. We're in the 5th round. Takuyama's done most of the work for the first 4 rounds. So now he's slowed down that little bit more. Kawashima's work is a lot more effective. It's working for him a lot more. And he's starting to land with some shots, which will give him confidence.
A bit of puffiness by the right eye of Kawashima, as Tokuyama continues to hunt the body.
It's hard when you're fighting. Once you get into the habit of getting into a brawl, it's hard to get out of that. Tokuyama now knows what works for him. He's got back on his back foot and he's jabbing him. He doesn't feel comfortable up close, because Kawashima's probably that little bit stronger than him, so he knows I've got to stick to my box now. I don't want to make the same mistake I did in the second fight.
Just attempting to edge that bit closer, and the countering shots of Tokuyama getting him out of trouble.
Look at the difference in the shots that are thrown. Tokuyama's a long, straight, on the edge of the shot. Kawashima's a hooks. You know, he's trying to drag him in. He's not using his reach. What reach he's got, he's not using the length of his punches. He's trying to hit a target what isn't there.
Speed, agility, and some damage by the left eye as well for Kawashima to add to his problems. Cut in the 5th round.
that out of the two, even though Tokuyama, in my opinion, is ahead, he looks more fatigued, he looks more shot-worn at this stage of the fight.
And there's a long, long way to go. Too much too soon from Tokuyama? Question mark. It's an intriguing affair. He's put so much into these first 5 rounds, and at the back of his mind, Johnny, he'll remember the first fight where he nearly come unstuck late on.
In the 11th round, exactly. This now is about fitness. Tokuyama's done the most amount of work. He has now hit his second win wall, so he's got to get through this part of the fight. Between 6 and 8 will be very hard for him. It'll be a closer fight for him, and he's going to have to really dig into the trenches to keep it long.
2 experienced professionals, the 181st round of Kawashima's career and the 263rd of Tokuyama.
Tokuyama starts each round with those long shots, long combinations, and he looks so good. You can see the difference in class there when he throws those shots off. But then, after the first 30 seconds, it gets closer. Kawashima starts, as each round goes on, to get a bit more successful in his work.
Misses, but look at the effort from Kawashima. He's so up for this, so determined to hang on to his world title. It's a really emerging scene, the 8'3" boys, with Fernando Montiel, the WBO champion, and Martin Castillo, the WBA holder. Plenty of fights and money to be made at last for the little boys.
Of course, and why not? These guys, like Spencer says, these guys are the bravest of all the fighters. And Kawashima there, you know, he's so predictable. He's so obvious in what he's doing, but he's so persistent. And unless you've got a big heart, he will weigh you down and break that heart.
Right hand picked to perfection from Tokuyama. But he's just being lent on by Kawashima, who is trying to force his way back into a fight he must be well behind on the cards.
Tokuyama, when he gets tired, this is what he needs to do. Tie him up, lean on him, smother him. Don't let him bully him inside. Then get on your back foot and get going.
Certainly a minor shift here. The flowing rhythm of Tokuyama. Just moments in this round, not quite so fluent. Deep breath, I've noticed a couple of times, Johnny, from Tokuyama.
Again, this is his second round stage. For the next 2 rounds, it's going to be very hard for him. But he's learned to pump that jab out, double it up, throw the right hand, an unpredictable right hand, then lean in and not make the target too obvious, too wide, too open for himself to get hit.
Turn southpaw. His ability, though, is winning these rounds, Tokuyama. Well, the corner of Kawashima, led by Koji Matsumoto, who's a very popular trainer, and they've got work to do. It's the first round you've given to Kawashima. It was a close one.
He looks tired, he looks fatigued, he looks like he's being pushed. This is the hardest stage in the fight for him. He's being closed down.
Second half, WBC Super Flyweight title on the line in an interesting affair from the Central Gym Arena in Osaka. Remember the turquoise trunks of the challenger, Masamori Tokuyama. He almost certainly won the first 4, 5, maybe even 6 rounds. 3 judges at ringside But can Kawashima grit himself and get back into this and turn it into his sort of a fight?
The last round was the most successful round for Kawashima because Tokuyama has got a little bit tired. He gave that round away. It's not as though he's been outboxed, he's been out-hustled. He just gave that round away because he's that little bit more tired.
And Tokuyama has been inactive since June last year. Not as fresh.
But you've got the mentality of two fighters here. One that feels as though he was unfortunate to lose his title, and two, the second fighter feels he is the champion, he deserves to be the champion, he's boxed and defended it, and he feels like a world champion. And there's not many fighters with that tag that they believe they are the best in the world.
Tasty combination from Tokuyama. He's landed so many more clean, eye-catching and classy shots. Made Kawashima look a bit agricultural, pedestrian. But you can't count him out.
He breaks your heart, and this is what he does. At this stage, you know, Tokuyama's got to be clever. He's got to have confidence. He's got to be brave, and he's just got to hold in there just until he starts to see the finishing line after round 9, and he'll come back to life again. It happens to all fighters.
They trade as Kawashima tries to turn this into a slugfest. Tokuyama just falling in there. Ian John Lewis just calling a timeout. Bit of tape on the right glove of Kawashima. And they could do with a breather.
It's the way he fights is aggressive enough to keep the pressure on. He needs that more than anything else. He's probably thinking, I don't know who did your gloves, but thanks a lot, mate.
Yeah, he's put so much into the first half of this. Tokuyama doesn't want it all to go horribly wrong in the second part. He needs to keep doing what he's been crafting from the first bell.
He uses that jab so well, but I can see now he's so tempted to get dragged into a brawl because he's tired, and it's the comfortable thing to do, but he wants to do what works for him, and that's that. Use the jab, use the long shots, use the long combinations.
Keep fleet-footed and using the ring. Well, this is becoming more interesting round after round. Tokuyama certainly seems in that corner to be feeling the tempo of this. It's hot. It's been fought at quite a hectic pace. Certainly the amount of work Tokuyama's put into this.
These little guys somehow managed to, can you imagine people at my weight doing this? You know, it would break my heart, and I'd probably sweat so much I'd end up weighing 8 stone anyway. But you've got to give it to them. They've got so much heart, so much fitness and determination. They'll come out again and put the same performance on and pressure style of fighting. Look how naturally, even though he's tired, Tokuyama uses the long shots. That's what works for him. That's always worked for him. And that will be his winner for the fight, as far as what I see.
Really good match. Clash of styles, the boxer and the brawler. Fans adoring every minute of this quality world title fight.
And out of the two fighters, if you look at Kawashima, what he's done from round 1 to this stage has not changed at all. He's tried to close him down, he's tried to put the pressure on him, he's just left that distance there. Whereas Tokuyama has boxed, he's got tired, he's had to get involved over the last 2 rounds, which have been the most successful rounds for Kawashima.
And Johnny, there's so much pride on the line here. And Machismo, I know they're not Mexicans, but they've got that heart, the two of them, and really it is a case of the one who gets the 2-1 in the series going to be a hero.
And after this, I wouldn't want a rematch. You know, these are hard, taxing fights, and these guys, even though their styles are so different, it takes a lot out of both fighters.
Still, Kawashima stalks. But once again, it is the extra technical skills of Tokuyama that are getting home. Look at that jab once more.
That's it, just walk the jab, walk the long shots, just pop him off and keep him off balance, then step back and step out of the way. When you're in close lead on him, that's what Tokuyama needs to be doing.
We saw Martin Castillo recently retain his WBA title here in Japan against Hideyasu Ishihara, and he made Ishihara look a level below him, and at times that's what Tokuyama's finding tonight.
Kawashima needs to close it down, don't give him a respite, keep the pressure on him and just rush him each time. That's what he needs to do, keep the pressure on him, don't give him the time to have a break, to try and hustle his way, kid his way through the fight, make him work for 3 minutes of every round.
A couple of right hands went in there, seemed to have an effect on Tokuyama. For the first time in the fight, Kawashima breaks the guard down, and hands are low now of Tokuyama.
He senses what he has to do. He has, now with the pennies dropped, he has to close him down and put the pressure on him.
So Katsushige Kawashima has it all to do. And the worried look on the girls at ringside.
They call it the true power behind the throne.
That's it, they're living every single second as their two men with another quality display. The early work, the boxing knowledge, brain and skill of Masamori Tokuyama. Now the fighting spirit of Kawashima. Can he get back into this? Not if Tokuyama can find a second win like that. Beautiful, beautiful work at times from Tokuyama.
You've got to give it to him. He's so fit at this stage, round 9, and he's still trying to box on his toes. And you know it'd be easy for him to get involved in a brawl, just to give himself that respite, but he knows what works for him. Don't give Kawashima the style of fight he wants. As they say, don't give a man a chance that hasn't got one, so he doesn't need to give him that chance.
I mean, this is a man that was absolutely flying, beating the likes of Eric Lopez and Jerry Penalosa a couple of times in a good reign, Tokuyama. I mean, he admitted that he went out drinking, he got the star in his eyes, he was being pampered, and he fell out of love with it almost, and he seems to want it so much tonight.
Unfortunately, a lot of fighters, when they get to a certain level, they forgot what got them there in the first place, and they make these mistakes. And as I said before, a loss wakes you up. It's a big wake-up call where you've got to dig in and think, well, why am I doing this? I do it because I love it, not because I want to be a superstar.
Still, there's time, though, for Kawashima to turn this on its head with one of those left hooks or right hands. So stubborn.
He will do this until the last second of the last round, and he knows that's what works for him. Unfortunately, they probably not recognise his good jab, what he has in the gym, because if they used it more often, it would work. It'd be so effective for him. He's giving Tokuyama too much space to do what he wants to do and feel comfortable, to show off, to move left to right and use the jab, use the right hand. He wants to close that space down. Don't chase him around the ring, square him off, make him work, make his lungs put him under pressure.
Turning back the clock, Tokuyama, remembering that reign, the ability, and here, so far, he has looked a class above his arch rival, and he's made a mockery of what happened in their second meeting.
Look how Tokuyama's hustling him. He'll pretend to throw left, pretend to throw right, just throw out a simple jab and step off. And he's giving himself that bit of space to work.
He's running out of time. Kawashima, if he wants to cling on to the world title. His manager, Hideyuki Ohashi, in there. And in the other corner, Tokuyama, maybe a touch tired, but is surely a mile ahead with 9 minutes to go.
And this is the point of the fight where if you were tired from round 6 to round 9, getting your second win, you can see the finishing line, so your work rate steps up, you start to work that a little bit more.
5 points ahead on Johnny's unofficial card here. The judges of Kasui Abe, James Jen King and Hisatoshi Miyazaki will make it official should it go the distance. They must be seeing, though, Tokuyama's craft and skill and sublime ability.
They probably don't know what to tell him to close him down, to mess his work up. All they're saying is keep going forward and keep the pressure, and hoping he gets lucky. Don't depend on luck when you're in a boxing, because sometimes luck just leaves you alone. He needs to close him down, use that jab. He's got an excellent jab, put him off balance, and then try and brawl him.
How he needs that 19th knockout on his record, Kawashima.
Tokuyama's clever, ties him up close, holds his arm the blind side of the referee so he can't use it, then steps off.
Just slipped there, Tokuyama with his left boot, and the canvas that's become a bit wet with all the sweat and work they've been putting into this.
Look how Tokuyama throws that jab. It's not a hard jab, it's not a powerful jab, it just pushes you off balance. And Kawashima just about to throw a big winging left hook, and then the jab just pushing him off the balance, and it'll be falling left to right of Tokuyama.
Terrific, Johnny, though, to watch these super flyweights with their little moves and the heart these two are showing as well. Real world title quality stuff.
It's tiring just watching these guys. You know what they're thinking. You've got two totally different style of fighters here, and they're boxing to the best of their ability. Tokuyama, I've got to give it to him because he's worked the most out of the two of them.
The crowd starting to will him on again. Tokuyama down the stretch, get him home. Born in Tokyo, but based here all his career. Fights as well for North Korea. Really interesting character, and will be very marketable should he come through this. Big fights down the line. See the water, and there is Tokuyama's former sparring partner, Seiji Tanaka, who unfortunately died in April after a fight for the Japanese super flyweight title. Was a good operator, Tanaka, and this fight Tokuyama is dedicating to him. That's given him an extra edge as well as him wanting to win it for himself.
They're using everything possible to motivate Tokuyama to say, you deserve to be here. This is your destiny. And we're in the 11th round here. Let's see how he carries it on. Let's see how he puts the pressure on and uses his skills and his confidence.
And don't forget that he was outboxing Kawashima in their first fight, and this is where he came a little unstuck. He managed to get through, but it was a rocky period, and Kawashima will know that. He'll have to go for it now.
And up to this point in their third fight, Tokuyama is the one that has learnt most from both fights. From the first fight, he remembered, I've got to keep my eye on the ball. I got caught in the 11th round, so I've got to be smart on what to do. The second fight, he got caught cold, so he had to be sharp on the ball and keeping his eye on Kawashima. And hopefully he'll use all of that, to get this to the end of the fight and win.
Backing right hook to the body from Tokuyama. My word, if he could punch, if he could really hit. We wonder how good he would be. Again, the tape loose, this time on the left glove of Kawashima, and Tokuyama just keeping light on his feet. Good idea.
Keeping light on his feet, stretching out, and this is so beneficial to him. We've got 1.5 rounds left. This works him deep, briefly. Keep an eye on your corner. They'll be giving you sign language to tell you what to do and how to box next.
How tired, Johnny, do you get at this stage of a fight? You've had a middle period. You've got to just drag it through to the end of the 12th round. What's it like in the 11th?
At this stage, the 11th round is the hardest. The 11th round is the autopilot. The 11th round, you're thinking, I've got one more round left, but I'm really tired. And then when you see the 12th round, that's when you come to life. That's when all your skills come in, because you know it's almost over. The 11th round is autopilot for no matter what stage you're at.
Weary legs and arms as well, especially of Tokuyama, who's done so much good work tonight so far, and yet Kawashima will not be denied. He will keep going and believe that he can turn this around.
That's right, Kawashima has done what comes natural to him, and that's trying to drag him into a fight. He's not changed at all. His work rate hasn't dropped at all. Tokuyama, his work rate has dropped because he knows he's really gambled here and done most of his work in the first half of the fight.
Been a cleanly fought fight. He and John Lewis with little to do. The combatants have provided everything. Putting on a good one, but they are tired. And this is where accidents could happen for Tokuyama especially. But 3 minutes left for Kawashima to retain his title. It looks highly unlikely now. And they're trying to rally him over in the red corner. He knows what he's got to do. He knows he's got to surely stop Tokuyama, and on your card, he needs to. A knockdown's not even good enough. He's got to stop him in the final round.
Yeah, I think Kawashima knows that, and I think hopefully Tokuyama knows that too. He needs to just keep it long, keep away, don't get in trouble, and just do what you're good at, which is boxing. If he gets in close and he's too tired, tie him up.
Lovely smile from Kawashima as they enter the 12th. Huge respect, as there always seems to be with trilogies fought through boxing history. Oh, right hand, countering shot. And how about that in the 12th round here? And Masamori Tokuyama has to take the count from in. John Lewis, dramatic final session, and there's plenty of time. And Kawashima's going to go for broke now.
Walked straight into it. He got caught clean. He can blame the fall, he can blame the slip, but Kawashima has done what he's good at. He just kept the pressure on, and now he's just got to keep it really close and hope he can put him down and make him stay down.
We don't know how the judges are seeing it, whether they may have it closer than we feel, but that is a big moment for Kawashima. Does he have to finish Tokuyama though now? You would have thought so, but there is time. Borrow some seconds there. Tokuyama just holding on, trying to clear his head and get his own boxing back together. Look at the effort that Kawashima is putting in. He's so badly wants to hold on to his belt. Wonderful to see.
Kawashima knows he's strong enough to hurt him, but he just cannot pin him down. He just cannot get that Suzy Q shot in.
Using all that experience, Tokuyama, in this terrific attempt to regain the title that he held so proudly for so long. And if he can just hold through this final minute as the support tries to help him. He's just clinging on.
He's tired, he cannot even step it up. He can see the finishing line, but he cannot even step it up. He's got to do anything that'll work for him. Tie him up, hold the blind side of the referee, of Kawashima, and get away from him, because he knows he's not got much left.
Slips again on the wet canvas, but that was a beautiful right hand that Kawashima found. He hasn't managed to get another one, and Tokuyama has got his head back together and is boxing his way home. And he deserves this, the challenger. He's fought a very sensible, educated fight. The final round scare, smile and hugs between the pair. Terrific, terrific to see. And to us, Masamori, Tokuyama, despite the fact that Kawashima gets raised aloft, certainly on your card, the challenger's done enough to regain his belt.
He's done enough, you know, he did well, he used what he could do, but you see, Kawashima kept the pressure on him, a flush right-hand shot. There was no excuse there, there was no slip, there was no accidental drop. It was a good hook up, come uppercut.
Let's see if Tokuyama's got it.
採点の結果をお知らせいたします。ジャッジ阿部和夫115対112、ジャッジ宮崎聡117対110、ジャッジジェームス・ジェンキン118対109、
Tokuyama corner.
WBC 世界スーパーフライウェイトニューチャンピオン。
He's regained it.
Well deserved.
He's
well
won
deserved.
back.
Well deserved.
The WBC Super Flyweight title. There's the official tally by 3-7 and by 9 points from James Jenkin. And despite that last flurry from the game Kawashima, justice served. And for his friend that died too.
Everybody needs that little bit of motivation, and that motivation worked for him, and now he believes, you know, it was a mistake.
Terrific night for Tokuyama.
That's the